right. So, in this video, we are going to discuss what actually this meta argument concept is. So, in Terraform, so basically we have this meta argument. So, basically, these are some special arguments where we can use this, at any level, like a resources, modules, or data blocks. And this is not just limited to AWS. You can use this with any of the cloud providers like AWS or Azure or GCP. And we have primarily five meta arguments. So the first one is count, and we will see a hands-on for each and these listed here. So we can use count, we can use for each, we can use depends on, and this life cycle, again life cycle has three options, and we have something like a provider option. So first we will focus on this remaining options apart from this life cycle. Okay, so first the option excuse me. So the first option we have is count. So if you observe this particular Terraform script, okay, so here I want to create multiple EC2 instances. So I want to create it in US East 1, or you can choose any of the region. So AMI we have to give instant type, we have given a name here. But see, I want to create multiple identical copies of the instances. So the same copy with same name, by using same AMI, by using same instant type, I want to create three copies. So I can simply give count here. Okay. And if I want to use the later the index. Okay, so basically we can use an index. So generally if I don't have this index here, what happened for all the three EC2 instances we are going to create, we are going to get name as a just my instance only. But I want to give my instance 0, my instance 1, my instance 2. So for that purpose we can use this count.index, so that it is going to give a kind of meaningful names. So here I'm using count. Okay, so let's write this Terraform code script to deploy the resources. So currently I don't have any EC2 instances here in my AWS account in running state. So this one we have, yeah, we can ignore that for now. Okay, so first we have to go with the provider, and obviously it's going to be the AWS, and the region is going to be, I'm going to use AP South 1 region. And now um, we can we have to give provider as a AWS. I missed it. All right, so now I want to give, right, so I think it is giving some auto suggestions. I thought to stop it. Okay, so then obviously we have to define resource section, and I'm going to create an AWS instance, and the block name I'm going to give it as a my first instance, or you can give any kind of name. And now I am going to give count as a 2 or 3. How many number of instances you want to create, you can just give that. And obviously we need AMI ID, so I'm going to pick it from AWS console. You can pick it from AMI catalog, right? So I'm going to pick this AMI ID, and remember this AMI ID is going to be unique for every AMI and depends on region also. It is going to change. All right, so another important thing is instance type, and I'm going to choose, so the new free AWS accounts don't support T2 micros, so we have to go with the T3 micro, or it is supporting like a T3 small or C7i flex large, so I'm going with T3 micro. All right, so yeah, I just want to add a name. So for that purpose, we have to give tags uh, equal to, then so name and n should be capital, and I'm going to give name as my instance hyphen. So we are here using this count, right? So I can actually pass some kind of variable here, count dot index, so that the basically this index is going to start from 0. Okay, so my first instance name is going to be my instance hyphen 0, then second instance name is going to be my instance 1, third one is going to be my instance hyphen 2. Okay, as it's starting with 0. All right, so now the syntax is not so good, right? So we already know the command terraform fmt, right? We got it in proper indentation and all, right? So now it's time to deploy to understand this count argument. So this count meta argument option. Okay, so but here the problem is the same configuration with multiple instances. Terraform apply hyphen auto approve, so that it won't ask me to enter or wait for my confirmation. You can see here AWS instance, my first instance 0, 1, 2. Okay, it is actually creating three instances. Okay, you can observe my instance 0, my instance 1, my instance 2. Right. So the only problem with this count is if you want to create the same copies of the instances, so then this is obviously sufficient, good option. But you want to try out different configurations. You see, you cannot create resources with different configurations. For different configurations, we have another argument called for each. So let's see how actually this for each works and what are the different things we are going to get. All right, so now all three EC2 instances created and all three will have same AMI. You see, it is ending with F65, this also ending with the F65, this one also same. So I just want to do the cleanup before jumping into the for each argument. Okay, so Terraform, destroy, auto approve. Right. So now it is going to delete the resources. So basically this for each, right? So it works like a matrix mechanism in GitHub actions. Like, if you aware about GitHub actions, there is a concept called matrix. Okay, you can pick first instance with one setting, second instance with one operating system kind of options we have. So in similar way, we can actually use this for each, and we can use the to set, okay, to pick multiple values, right? So uh, by the time this destroy completes, I'll take a temporary file and I'm going to write that here. So this provider part is absolutely going to be same for all the examples we are going to discuss, and for each we really no need to define the count. So based on the values or information you are going to mention in for each, it is going to pick automatically. Okay, so now I'm going to give so for each, and we have to, whenever we are using this for each, right, we have to start it with the to set. Okay, and then we have to give it in array format. Okay, within the bracket. So let's assume I want to create three instances. Okay, I don't want to give name here. I'm going to like manually, instead of manually put getting this count and index. Okay, so now I'm going to use this to set. Okay, and then open the array. Array should be this bracket, not curly bracket. So now I'm going to create a dev server. Then I'm going to create a QA server. Then I'm going to create, so how many I'm going to mention here, those many instances are going to create it. And also similar way we can change the instant type as well, but to keep the thing simple at moment, just to understand this, so I'm going to keep the configuration same. And also what actually I'm doing, the name, I'm not going to use the count and all. I'm going to use each key. So whatever the one I have mentioned here under for each, okay, it is going to set as the name of the instance it is creating. All right, so hope the previous destroy completed. Now I have written that here, and obviously Terraform FMT, right. So now it is in proper with proper indentations. So this is the part we are working, and even in the documentation and example also I have mentioned same. So basically it works like, for each is a loop used to create multiple resources from a single resource block. Unlike count, it actually allows different configurations or unique identifier for resources. Okay, so yeah, it helps to reduce repetitive code while maintaining flexibility. Okay, and each item, okay, in the list or map is assigned with a unique key. So basically these are the unique key, we are going to use that here. And yeah, obviously if you are planning to create resource like a EC2 instances, S3 buckets or subnets with different names, so this is the best option, right? So now it's time to test this for each. So Terraform apply auto approve. So it has to create three resources. Okay, one instance with name as a dev server, second one as a QA server, third one as a prod server. And yeah, it is going to contain same AMI and the same instance, and you can see apply completed, resource 3 added. Now just go back to AWS account and previous ones obviously deleted. And now uh, 3 I'm filtering with running instances, and you can see here dev server, prod server, QA server. So uh, technically it picked in this manner. So it it is going to use this configuration for dev server, then QA server, then prod server, and these names actually used here, the unique keys, right? So this is an example for each argument we have. Okay, so then we have one more, that is depends on. So this is kind of pretty simple one. Okay, you can easily understand, this depends on is not something available only with the Terraform. Even if you are working with cloud formation templates, right, so you might be aware about this depends on um, thing as well. So sometimes um, if we have to create the resource, it may have some dependency on another resource as well. So first what we have to do, we have to wait till the resource creation completed, then only we may need to start another resource creation. For example, see, um, let's assume I want to create an EC2 instance, and the EC2 instance creation should complete to attach an IAM role to that instance. So if I directly, the instance is in creating state, and if I try to attach, it may not attach, right? It may throw some error. Instance should be in running state kind of error. Okay, so now here instance should be created okay, then only we can go and we can create another resource, another block of the resources. So here in this example, what I did, so I'm creating an EC2 instance here. As usual, there is no change in it, but what actually I'm doing along with this EC2 instance, I'm going to create an S3 bucket as well. Okay, I'm giving a name for that S3 bucket block. I have passed the bucket name, but what actually I have added here, so this resource block creation is actually depends on the AWS instance dot my server. This particular block creation should be completed, then only it is going to start this particular one. Okay, so and there is one good thing that, okay, with Terraform can handle it without these things. Okay, Terraform has that capability to detect the dependencies automatically, but you want to create it manually. So then, yeah, we can use this. Depends on argument. Okay, so let's write down that. So I think I can use this. Okay, think I can use the same template to explain the depends on. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to give a name for this instance. So my depends instance is a name I'm giving. Now let me create another resource section. So resource is going to be AWS. It's going to be S3 bucket. Okay. So then we have to pass the name. I'm going to call this as like a my bucket. So then have opened the block. Okay, so then what is a bucket name we want to give? So we can give bucket, then I can pass the bucket name Avinash demo bucket, and it definitely should have some randomness, uniqueness. 13 11 2025 is the bucket name I'm giving. Now when I just go and deploy, both are going to create at a time, but my requirement is first this EC2 instance creation should be completed, then only I want to go to this, I want to start this bucket creation. So for that, I'm going to use depends on. Now I have to define, so the instance um, resource type as well as block name. So this block name gives a uniqueness. Within one template, we cannot have multiple blocks with the same name. Dot, and this is the one we have given, right? My first instance. So basically this AI and the plugins we have installed, right? So that is giving a lot of auto suggestions. So that's actually a very, very good thing. Okay, so it will actually boost up our learning speed and all, but you definitely should know, and you should not get a feel that okay, Avinash is completely depending on AI to write his template and all. You should not get that thought. That's the reason I'm trying to create most of the code here manually, right? So Terraform FMT, it got formatted, so looking good now. So it's time to um, create the resources. All right, previous one I have not destroyed, so oops. Terraform destroy auto approve. So the files, the information actually stored in tf state file, even though I have modified the main.tf, I haven't planned, I haven't applied, so the Terraform state file not updated. So that's the reason it is able to work. And here, okay, uh, hope this will be good. So first slide, then IDE, then AWS. All right, so the previous ones are terminating or shutting down. Okay, so now as per this template, okay, yeah, previous one completed. As per this template, first this instance creation should complete, then it have to go to this bucket creation. So Terraform apply auto approve. Now you see it's planned to add two to add, and you see here AWS instance it's creating it simultaneously. Basically, uh, this Terraform has a capability parallelly. There is a something called parallelism. Okay, so parallelly it has capability to create 10 resources. We can actually increase it, that I'll talk in some another slide. Okay, so but still I am trying to create just two resources only, but still it's creating only one resource. Okay, first instance. So now what happened, the instance creation completed, then it is started creating S3 bucket. Okay, so if I don't add this particular line, if I don't add this particular line, it is going to create both the resources parallelly. So this is what depends on argument, meta argument option we have in our Terraform. And then we have something called provider argument as well. So this provider argument. Okay, let me write it down first. So this provider argument, right? For example, I'll take an example here. See, I want to create two EC2 instances, but one instance should be created in Mumbai and another one should create in Northern Virginia or any other region. So obviously, as I mentioned multiple times, this block name should be unique. So what I will do, I'll call this as a um, Mumbai instance. Okay, and I'm going to call this as a USA instance. And name also I'll give similar name, Mumbai instance, and I'm going to call USA instance. Cool. So now, if I deploy this, what happened? Both instances will create in AP South 1 region only, and just it will have name as a Mumbai instance and USA instance. Apart from that, there we are nowhere mentioning this US East 1 or the region code, right? Okay, so then you might get it out. Avinash, can we take this provider? Can we add that provider here for this particular resource? Okay, I want to give something like a Northern Virginia. So US East 1. Okay, now if I try to deploy this, okay, this resource we assume, right? We are assuming this resource will create in Mumbai, but this resource will create in Northern Virginia, right? But it won't create in that manner. Let me show you that. Okay, so kubectl sorry, Terraform um, apply, or you can actually plan. Okay, so when I'm running this Terraform plan, it's saying, okay, a default non-alias provider. Okay, configuration for AWS was already given at the line here. Okay, so if multiple configurations are required, set the alias argument. Okay, so for alternative configurations, so we cannot simply give this multiple provider section multiple times without alias. So how I can add alias here? Okay, so it's pretty simple. Now you have given provider, you have given region. Now you set up okay, and alias here. So for that alias, then I'm going to call this as USA. Okay, so now whenever you are creating the resource, if you want to use this particular provider information, okay, like I want to use this US East 1 as a region, right? I have to define here provider. So provider is equals to, then how I need to give AWS dot alias name. So AWS is the provider. There is one alias with the name called USA. Now what happens, this particular resource will use the default provider, then it is going to create an instance in AP South 1 region. This resource will use this alias. So within AWS provider, there is an alias called USA. Then for this particular EC2 instance, US East 1 is going to be the um, region. But remember, I mentioned one point. If I deploy now, it will throw an error by stating like, the AMI ID is not available. So the reason AMIs are region specific ones. So let's navigate to Northern Virginia. Okay, the one we are using is Mumbai's one. Okay, I cannot use that. So we can go to AMI catalog, or just click on launch instance, and here you can get the AMI ID. This is one option. Or you go to AMI catalog, then you pick this, copy, and just replace this. Right. So hope we don't get AMI error. Now we can just plan as we did some time back, Terraform plan. Okay, it's okay. To add, right, to destroy. Come on, the previous ones I forgot to destroy. Now let's see if I do the apply. Okay, Terraform apply, auto approve. So now it is actually verifying this tf state file, and it's saying like, the previous deployment resources still available, the instance and the bucket, right? So this previous one is terminating. And yeah, for now the important thing is one instance is creating in Mumbai region, and another instance should create in Northern Virginia, and with the given names. So in a single Terraform file, you may need to create like, sometimes you may need to create resources in different regions. Then you can actually use this um, provider argument. Okay, so yeah, this is another argument. So then we have lifecycle blocks. So this is also part of like, meta arguments only, but I'm going to make it as a two parts. In like, part 2 of this meta argument, I'm going to discuss about this lifecycle block. All right, that's it for this video. See you again in next video. Hope you are learning Terraform from our videos. And if you feel these videos are valuable, don't forget to share with the DevOps learners, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.